Morning, Cibolo Valley. We hope and pray all is well with you, and if not, please get in touch with us. We'd love to help if we can. I've got a blog that was done by Ken Ham last month. Does the Bible say things that harm women? Now, this was written by someone who the video that he's reviewing was done by a woman in a liberal Lutheran church who has a rather low view of Scripture, and I want to discuss all this today about whether the Bible does actually harm women. Ken Ham says, sometimes I see a video that even after everything I've seen over 50 years of ministry still shocks me. And a recent video from the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America is one of those videos, as an ELCA spokeswoman claims that numerous verses of Scripture are harmful to women and girls. But not to worry, we can just not take those verses literally. Incidentally, when I showed this to our pastor, he just said, wow, at that line. Using the wording from a 2019 church document, she says, the Christian tradition is both a challenge and a resource when it comes to addressing sexism. And let me tell you, it's been a big challenge. Biblical texts say things about women and girls that we now recognize as harmful. There's great emphasis added there. We now recognize, in other words, man or woman is the authority, not God and His Word. They're moving away from any authority of Scripture. And that becomes abundantly obvious later in the video. But what specific biblical text is she referring to? Well, the video provides a list. It lists 1 Corinthians 11, 3 through 16, Ephesians 5, 22 through 24, Colossians 3, 18, and 1 Peter 3, 1 through 6. Now, the harmful thing in each one of those is that women are supposed to be submitted to their husbands and in submission to authority. They find that very harmful. Titus 2, 4 through 5. Young women are to love their husbands and children. That's harmful to them. To be self-controlled, pure, working at home, kind, and submissive. I'm not sure I see the harm. 1 Corinthians 14, 34 through 35. Women are not only to be submissive, but not speak in church. Now, along with 1 Timothy 2:12, you have places where Paul has said that he wouldn't allow a woman to talk in church. That was a cultural thing. He specifically said it came from him, not from God. And you notice that we have actively women speaking in churches. Genesis 3:16, pain in childbirth. Judges 19, the death of a concubine. 1 Timothy 2:15, childbearing is theirs. Of course, the people who want to say there are no sexes try to debate that one today. Exodus 20:17, the 10th commandment, you shall not cover your neighbor's wife or his female servant. Yes, apparently not coveting women is harmful to women. I don't understand. Deuteronomy 21, 11 through 14 deals with the treating of captive women. 1 Timothy 2:9, women are to be adorned modestly. Again, I'm not sure I see the harm. Basically, any chapter, this is a comment from the woman who was doing the video. Basically, any chapter that gives women a specific command, feminists don't like it. Harmful to women based on their arbitrary standard of harmful, of course. But no worries, you can just explain them away. Some aspects of the Scriptures reflect the cultures and societies in which they arose. But a Lutheran reading centered on Christ frees us from taking all Scripture only literally. We don't have to conform to the social and cultural practices of the ancient world. After she said this, She hands off the Bible to someone off screen. Yes, she literally gives away the Bible. Her answer to so-called harmful passages is to just dump the Bible. How much more literal could she have been in showing her disdain for the very words of God? Rather than wrestle with the scriptures, and they need to be wrestled with, they need to be interpreted, they need to find out what our application is supposed to be. Comparing scripture with scripture to determine what God intended for us to understand from his word. Just throw the Bible away and listen to the culture. She has determined she is authority and not God. Incidentally, it's not just women that do that. Men do this all the time as well. Think about it. In this view, what exactly is the point of the Bible? If Scripture isn't from God, but is just a reflection of the culture of the time, why should we listen to any of it? After all, culture constantly changes. And if Scripture was both written and must be interpreted through a cultural lens, why should we listen to it at all? Why not just listen to the popular people of our day, which sadly many do? I don't think her view of the Bible could be any lower, but she would do well to heed Scripture. Proverbs 3:5 tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding." Proverbs 28:26, "Whoever trusts in his own mind is a fool, but he who walks in wisdom will be delivered." We're to honor Scripture. "Every man is stupid and without knowledge." That's from Jeremiah 10:14. I love the bold statement there. Compared to what God knows, we know nothing. How arrogant of sinful, fallible human beings to think they know more and have greater wisdom than God, who knows all things, has all wisdom and all knowledge. And he knows us and our sinful nature better than we know ourselves. Scripture doesn't harm women, though bad interpretations of Scripture influenced by culture rather than Scripture sometimes do. Scripture is a treasure of wisdom, knowledge, and insight for women and men, from Genesis to Revelation, given to us by God himself. 2 Timothy 3:16 tells us all Scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness. Just as an added note, remember that Christ treated women better than the people of his culture. Jesus actually elevated women in the Bible. He appeared to a woman just after the resurrection before he appeared to men, women first. Through his words, he talked to women, which would not have been done by a normal Jewish man of a woman he did not know. Jesus healed women and performed miracles around and for them. Jesus honored women and treated them differently than men, which we are having great difficulty with today. I think we need to pay attention to Scripture and not throw away the Bible. And I don't believe it's harmful to women. It's meant to help women and men. And we're out.